Personally, if I start losing my hair, I'm letting it go. I might try out some alternate haircuts first, but after a while, I'm going full Volkanovski. But if I had money to burn, the hair transplant is becoming a very popular option. So today, we're going to rank UFC fighter hair transplants. We have 9 fighters today, as well as 4 different categories. Looks natty, better than the alternative, botched, and shave it off now. All right, first up, he is the big man on campus. He is the current bantamweight champion. He is Merab Dvalishvili. Where are we going to place Merab? Because I personally believe that this hair transplant has totally changed his image. Right, you look at him being a goblin. You look at Marvin Vettori being an orc. The short hair does not suit him. If we throw up a pic of Merab when he was younger, he looks older than he looks now. He looks like a 60-year-old man living under a bridge. Now, very handsome. That's the difference a haircut makes, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to have to put him... Is he our first looks natty? We might have to figure that out a little bit later on. We're going to put him for sure better than the alternative. It was not botched. It was very well done. He got his teeth done too. Full makeover for our champion, Merab Dvalishvili. Honestly, just the difference that it makes is phenomenal. Merab, when he lost to Ricky Simone, when he was fighting Frankie Sands, when he first got into the UFC... And it was not a good look. We had a little horseshoe of doom going on. And now he has a very healthy hairline. Next up, we got Paulo Costa. Again, there was a lot of thinning, especially when he was cutting it short for a couple fights. And when he gets sweaty, the thinning is very visible. We haven't seen him in a while, and when he does post things on Instagram, it's usually AI of himself. But there is one photo where it looks a little bit worse than Merab. Maybe not quite botched. Obviously better than the alternative. But... you can change the amount of hair, but you can't change the quality of the hair. And that's what I think is kind of going on with Paulo Costa. Because still, when it gets kind of sweaty, kind of greasy, it tends to look a little bit thin. Our third fighter, Donald Cerrone, the Cowboy. You know, he just got a full fucking makeover. He was bald for a bit there. We took him back from the brink. He was in hairline hell. And we got him back here. Obviously started doing PEDs as well, which takes away some of your hair, so he really needed this. If you look at his hairline for the McGregor fight, it was not doing great. Okay, he had a little tuft out front, but the male pattern baldness was getting to him. He went out and he got that fixed. He also started doing motocross semi-professionally and again going on gear, but it is a very good hairline. Next up, Damon Jackson, another one that was taken from the absolute brink. Still, the forehead is very big, but it is now, I would say, less noticeable. I'm going to for sure put it above Paulo Costa, but not above Merab, because it looks almost unnatural. Merab, he looks like a real guy. Damon Jackson looks like a caricature of a man with a hair transplant. No shade, of course, to Damon Jackson. Now he's out of the UFC. I believe he retired. Yes, he did retire, so... he gets to enjoy his hair in peace. Up next, Francis the Predator Ngannou, your current PFL champion. I didn't think that his hairline was that bad to begin with. It was kind of moving up in the corners, but it wasn't even that bad. I guess it's better to get it done now, and then you have it done. And also, he got $20 million from the Tyson Fury fight, so might as well blow some of it. Again, still better than the alternative. Are we going to say better than Paulo Costa? It's hard to tell. We're going to throw it here. I wouldn't even say, do we want to say Paulo's is botched? We'll come back to it. Up next, Darius Flowers. Not currently fighting in the UFC. I believe he got cut. But funny enough, there's not a lot of fighters who've had hair transplants. There's kind of high-profile ones, and then a couple mid-profile. He is probably the lowest profile fighter on the list. It certainly helped, but I feel like he would just look better bald at this point. You know, because I've seen him with a lot of hair. There's pictures of young him. You can throw that up on the screen right now. And wasn't the greatest hairline to begin with, even as a young man. I would just shave it off if I was him. I'd just go for it. Because he looks pretty good in this with like really short hair with the new hairline. So if he just shaved it all the way, I think he'd be doing pretty good. Up next, UFC light heavyweight. Volkan Ozdemir. Now, Volkan was for sure botched. Okay, we're looking at pictures here, and he said he had to deal with injuries. That's why he took a year or two off. I don't buy it. It was not a year or two off due to injuries. It was him getting a hair transplant, and a bad one at that. Immediately lost it. a man who has been bald forever. He was fighting DC in like 2018 and he was bald. This isn't even a recent occurrence. So he suddenly just grows hair and magically fixes his hairline. That's not going to fly here. And the hair, it knew it wasn't a good fit. It just like immediately receded back. It was crazy. Just would not stand there. So now he has like patches on the side of his head that aren't fully grown because they had to get healthy hairs from there. It's just a mess. It's botched. He's already shaved it, so we're going to shave it now. But definitely, I think, the worst UFC hair transplant we've seen. Up next, UFC lightweight. Former UFC lightweight champion, now GFL fighter, Tony Ferguson. So far, we're holding up pretty good. It's been pretty solid so far for Tony. It's still a little bit high. It's not, you can't really see it by this photo, but I have a funny feeling it's going to recede again. And that's one of the big things is you have to do media for these places. They try to exclusively pander to celebrities, and depending on how much you post about them and do follow-ups and stuff, follow-up videos, follow-up posts, then I believe that you get like a portion taken off. Like Darius is posting about it like once a week. He'll post about his hair transplant journey. So he better be getting like 50% off. But Tony has also been posting a lot recently. Absolute ton. And I'm not going to jump to conclusions and say botched, but it's very possible that it just recedes quickly anyways. Almost like Paulo Costa or Volkan Ozdemir. We're not going to put it in botched, but it has potential to be there and maybe a tier list done in the near future. And finally, our cash cow, Conor McGregor. Very easily botched. You can see it here. He wasn't even looking that bad with a bald head. He wasn't looking that bad with a little bit of a receding hairline. Now they kind of fixed it, but you can tell. We're going to throw the photo up right now. If you look at like the edges of his hairline, you can tell that there's different layers that have been put in at different times. Looks unnatural. We're not going to actually not shave it off now. We're going to put it in botched. For a man who has as much money as him, you really think he could go to a better guy. Are we going to do some retooling? Okay, we're back with one final edition. I thought of it. I was thinking, is there anyone else who has phenomenal hair that just magically appeared? And then I looked into it. Yes, Paul Craig also had a hair transplant. The Bear Jew. This shit is so fucking luscious. It's insane. It is a full turnaround from old Paul Craig. Just super luscious, super thick. Went to the right guy. Took enough time off to let it heal up properly. Phenomenal job. I'm tempted to almost put it above Cerrone. Okay, we're going to do some retooling here. We're going to throw Marab up into Looks Natty, rather. And, ooh, boy. Darius is for sure above Volkan. Connor's is botched. Tony's, we're going to throw Paulo Costa in botched, but not as botched as McGregor. No. I'm almost tempted to put Paul Craig at number 1. It is so good. It is so phenomenal. But Donald Cerrone was fully bald, and we came back. Paul Craig was like just receding. Okay, we're going to keep it as is. Let me know what you would change. Let me know if you disagree with this list. Of course, as time goes on, more fighters are going to get hair transplants. I probably missed a couple that already have, so maybe throw those down in the comments. Maybe we'll do a part 2 eventually, but might be a little bit down the road. Big shout out to Hello NPC for becoming a vampiric enjoyer. You too can get your name read out at the ends of videos just like him by hitting that join button down below. Like, comment, and subscribe for more MMA content, and become a member for even more perks. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of your hair, and have a good time.